Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Wow, this has been a fantastic couple of weeks for Pathfinder fans. First, we got news about the very last Wrath of the Righteous DLC, Dance of Mass. Then Owlcat released information for half of the archetypes, including Drunken Master. And now, finally, a Kickstarter for a brand new single-player turn-based cRPG based on Pathfinder 2nd Edition mechanics called The Dragon's Demand has been revealed. Great stuff all the way around, and I am here to provide you with all the available details. Before we get into the game, let's talk about the tabletop version and the studio that is developing this adventure. The Dragon's Demand starts in the town of Belhaim, which is a small, peaceful rural community. The town is horrified when the tower for their founder's castle suddenly collapses and kobold bodies are found underneath the rubble. This sparks an investigation, not only into that event, but also other strange occurrences that are happening in Belhaim, including the ominous sound of flapping wings during the night. The Dragon's Demand is a 64-page, 3-chapter module for Pathfinder, and it only goes up to level 7. This is in sharp contrast to the 6-book adventure paths, which go up to level 18, that Owlcat translated for Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous. I believe that is welcome news, because Ossian is clearly a much smaller studio, so hopefully they are focused on creating this game at a scale where they can focus on quality. The low level cap would bother me if I believed this was going to be a 100-hour extravaganza, but I believe most of their games have been in the 20 to 30-hour range. If they can bump the cap up just a smidge to around 8 or 9 levels, I think that will do just fine. Speaking of which, let's dive into information regarding the developer. Ossian Studios was founded in 2003 by Alan Miranda, who previously worked with BioWare on titles like Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate 2. He wanted to continue making content for those types of games, and subsequently his studio created the Darkness over Daggerford and Mysteries of Westgate modules for Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2, respectively. Later, they also attempted to create a DLC for The Witcher titled Scars of Betrayal, but that was cancelled due to issues on CDPR's side. Most recently, they released Neverwinter Nights Tyrants of the Moonsea, a single-player cRPG with roughly 20 hours of content that maintains a mostly positive review rating on Steam. All of this is to say that while I am not familiar with their work, it seems like Ossian Studios specializes in the types of games I like, and I feel good about them taking a crack at the Pathfinder brand. Alright, with all that information out the way, let's talk about the game. 3 days ago, Reddit stumbled on the Kickstarter page for the Dragon's Demand. I say stumbled upon because the Kickstarter hasn't actually launched yet, but it's expected to do so during PaizoCon, which is occurring May 24th through 27th. Hopefully we also get a trailer at that point, which will reveal some of the gameplay. There's also a quote on Ossian's website that strongly hints this game has been in development for 3 years, so there's a chance we might get it very soon. It has a screenshot that you've already seen in the thumbnail, along with a brief blurb confirming this experience will be a single-player turn-based cRPG set in the Pathfinder world. Again, there's no trailer for the game, so I don't have footage to provide, but there are quite a few details we can glean from this image. We can tell from this screenshot that Dragon's Demand will be a party-based game, which you all already know I love. Also looks like confirmed classes are Fighter, Wizard, and Alchemist. Alchemist was one of my favorite Pathfinder classes, so it's great to see it included here. Confirmed races appear to be Orc, Dwarves, Elves, and Goblins. It'll be interesting to see if we can create our own character, and if so, will Goblins be one of the races we can use? There was a Goblin party member in Kingmaker, but otherwise we don't have an opportunity to adventure with that race, and I would love to do so. Just in general, I hope this game provides some cool race options that we usually cannot play with. Ratfolk, which was repeatedly asked for in Owlcat's games but never provided, would be amazing to see. The Goblin is a key indicator that this game will be based on Pathfinder 2nd Edition. His name is Fumbus, and he is an iconic character. A character is iconic if Paizo created them to personify a specific class. Sela was an iconic paladin in Wrath of the Righteous, and Amiri was an iconic barbarian in Kingmaker. Both of those characters reside in Pathfinder 1st Edition. Fumbus is an iconic alchemist, and he resides in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. He is chaotic neutral and has strong ambitions to one day join the Pathfinder Society. So what's the difference between Pathfinder 1st and 2nd Edition? I'm not the best person to give you a full rundown, but I'll give you some idea about why this is a big change. For those who don't know, Pathfinder 1E was heavily based on D&D 3.5, and you can see those fingerprints in pretty much all of the game's mechanics. Pathfinder 2E is built from the ground up by Paizo, and consequently, many of its mechanics are original. I've never played the tabletop version of Pathfinder, so I cannot confirm personally if 2E is actually good, but many people in my community speak about it glowingly. Some highlights I've heard is that character creation and leveling up in 2E has been significantly streamlined in a good way. It's easier to understand what you are doing and quickly make choices that benefit your character. I enjoy how dense the previous Pathfinder games are, but it's definitely true that you can really screw up your character, especially if you are playing on a difficulty that prevents respeccing. Another major difference I have heard between 1E and 2E is that classes are evenly balanced across the board, which means spellcasters aren't head and shoulders better than everybody else. Again, I am not a Pathfinder tabletop maestro, so if someone more familiar with the systems wants to lay out the differences in the comments, that would be appreciated. One last major difference between this game and previous Pathfinder entries is that Dragon's Demand will have a much more cartoony look than the previous Owlcat games. In fact, Ossian Studios is literally going to use digitized miniatures in the game, and you can see the circular stands underneath all the characters. Usually I prefer a more realistic tone, but again, this helps to distinguish the game from previous Pathfinder titles, so for now I am embracing it. In the original tabletop, the main villain was a green dragon. Those creatures are typically lawful evil and prefer to live in forest areas. They can also speak Elven and Fae. Most interestingly, green dragons can be swayed by diplomacy, although I am not sure if a diplomatic option was provided to end the adventure path. Ossian Studios appears to be switching things around and instead having you face against a black dragon. Black dragons are known for being especially savage and antisocial. They prefer marsh environments and have webbed feet that make them expert swimmers. It's doubtful we'll be able to talk our way out of a confrontation with this beast, but I will certainly give it a shot. That's all the information I currently have regarding Pathfinder: The Dragon's Demand. I will leave a link to the Kickstarter in the comments below, and will definitely update all of you once it officially launches and we have a trailer. Many of us were wondering how long it will be before we received another Pathfinder cRPG, and it looks like the answer is not long at all. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts. Does this excite you? Is there some specific information regarding the game that you'd like to see? Did you want a 2E game, or do you actually prefer 1E mechanics? Looking forward to hearing the feedback, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Take care.